the chosen one. God sent you this message with a purpose, to awaken the greatness inside you and prepare you for your divine duty. This message has reached you because you've entered a new season. This isn't luck. It is heavenly confirmation. You've passed the tests, remained true in the storms, and clung to your goal when everything else attempted to shatter you. Now, heaven is raising the alarm. Your moment has arrived. What was formerly postponed is now pouring into your life with irresistible power. You have passed the exam, even the ones you didn't realize you were robbing from billions of souls on earth. Only the top 1% are chosen for a greater reason, a deeper mission, or a holy task. This is not an accident. This is a wonderful arrangement. Your challenges, heartbreaks, and solitude, they were all part of the preparations. Now the call is urgent. Please hurry, there is a line. Step into your appropriate role, since your time has passed. Your time has come. In this message, we'll go through 7 chapters to assist you understand why you were chosen, what you've been through, and what's next. Before we begin, please take a time to like, share, and subscribe if you have not already. This is a message intended for all chosen ones to hear. If the core of this message speaks to your spirit, drop the number 77 in the comments. This isn't simply a number. It is a holy sign to the cosmos, indicating that you are in alignment with your divine destiny and ready to enter into the grandeur that awaits. Only the genuinely chosen ones will remain till the end. And to those who do, deeper insights will emerge. Your spiritual awareness will grow, and the gifts contained inside this message will become crystal clear. Remember that wisdom presents itself in layers. Revisit this message as frequently as necessary to connect your mind, body, and spirit with the realities being conveyed. Each time you come, you will discover something even more powerful, something heavenly that may have been buried previously. Let we begin. Chapter 1, the silent testing grounds. You had already been put to the test before you knew it. Not in classrooms full with books and lectures, not in job interviews, contests, or public platforms, but in secret areas where only heaven can see the decisions you make. You were challenged in the silent skirmishes, the invisible times when you might have backed down but decided to stay faithful. You were put to the test by making hidden judgments when no one was looking. When there was no acclaim and doing the right thing cost you something, you were tested in the places where character is formed, not for human praise, but for heavenly favor. The difficulties you faced were not accidents. They were precisely and purposefully positioned to highlight what was unshakable inside you. Your genuineness, your loyalty, you are resilient, your unshakable love for God. Every betrayal served as a mirror for your ability to forgive. Every delay was a fire that honed your patience. Every disappointment carved humility into your character. Every tear you shed in the dark nourished the seeds of your future greatness, whilst others gave up when things became rough. While others sought shortcuts, celebrity, and easy pathways, you stuck the course even when it made no sense. You chose integrity over compromise since it provided a quicker return. You chose purpose above fleeting pleasure. You chose covert obedience above public approbation. You chose lengthy paths of fidelity over shortcuts built with pride. Even when dread spoke, tiredness clung to your spirit, and loneliness weighed heavily on your heart. You did not stop. You struggled silently. You endured silently. You were a devoted lover. You had unwavering faith. Heaven had been watching all along. Heaven received your murmured prayers. You cried late at night, your desperate worship. Heaven documented every moment in which you stood steady. Even if nobody clapped, nobody praised, nobody saw, heaven smiled every time you forgave, even though it hurt. I loved it when it was simpler to walk away, and served when you had every reason to leave. You passed exams that no one else was aware of. You moved softly, and that silent victory elevated you to the spirit realm. Before the rest of the world could observe, hidden exams prepared you to view blessings. The covert victories resulted in public prizes. The chosen one, you didn't just survive. You overcame. You didn't just endure. You triumphed. And because you demonstrated your faithfulness in the silent testing grounds, you are now being called to a new season of visible honor, divine elevation, and realized destiny. The following chapter is not a recompense from man. It is a prize from heaven itself. Chapter 2, Separation for Elevation. One of the most obvious and unambiguous indications of being selected is the feeling of solitude. While others were building tight-knit cliques, merging with their tribes, and celebrating their oneness, you were frequently left standing alone, looking in. You saw others being pushed up, lauded, and appreciated while you stayed in the background, your achievements forgotten and your existence unacknowledged. But this was never a rejection. What appeared to be loneliness, abandonment, or isolation was actually supernatural protection, a shield thrown over you by a higher force who recognized the purity of your path. When you craved for companionship or recognition, God was working behind the scenes, preparing you for something higher, something unaffected by the crowd's loudness. Your absence was not punishment, but rather a holy preparation. It was a divine orchestration that kept you away from distractions and forces that would have obscured your mission or led you wrong. The world didn't comprehend you, which was precisely the way it should be. You were never supposed to follow the herd. In those moments of utter solitude, you were always meant to stand out, to soar above. When the world seemed to forget about you, God was speaking into your spirit, shaping and polishing your soul for the task ahead. That calm place developed your inner strength. Your wisdom has grown, and your vision for the future has become clear. Your destiny demands someone who is strong enough to travel alone, wise enough to trust their own inner compass while being strong enough not to be persuaded by others' ephemeral opinions. The loneliness was never supposed to overwhelm you. It was intended to place you. It was a divine alignment with your journey. God's kind but strong hand guiding you to a level of readiness that could not have been reached otherwise. Among the clamor and mayhem of the mob, you were being addressed higher. Only through solitude could you be set aside, polished, and prepared for the power and purpose that would eventually be revealed. Now, at this season of your life, your moment of elevation is approaching. What previously seemed like abandonment is now the basis for your success. You were picked for something more, and now is the moment for the rest of the world to understand why you were chosen. You were never intended to fit in. You were designed to stand out, to shine like a beacon of light in a world that sorely needs your distinctive brightness. Chapter 3, Hidden Fights, Public Rewards. Chosen ones frequently fight their most difficult fights in secret, in the darkest parts of their existence, where no one can see them. While the rest of the world may have applauded your accomplishments, they were unable to see the weight you bore behind closed doors. The fights that shaped you, the ones no one knew about, took place in the innermost regions of your heart, mind, and soul. There were times when despair and anxiety threatened to overcome you, when financial difficulties seemed like chains that bind you, when betrayal struck deep throughout your spirit. You endured all of this silently, carrying weights that appeared overwhelming but still found the strength to rise. You shed tears that no one saw and experienced sorrow that no one could comprehend. Nonetheless, you kept going. You continued to show up for life, people, and your mission. You gave even when you had nothing more to give. You believed, even when belief seemed like the most difficult thing to cling onto in those quiet moments when it felt like the world had forgotten you. Even when your soul was too tired to continue fighting, you persisted. Your struggles were private, but they were preparing you for something far bigger than you could have imagined. And suddenly there's a change in the air. The winds of change are blowing, and the prize for your quiet patience, your secret loyalty, is going to be exposed. You may not have expected it, but God has been arranging a table for you. Not in a secret, isolated hiding spot, yet in front of those who questioned you, those who disregarded you, those who mocked your efforts or dismissed your faith will soon see your success. The same people who questioned your strength will be the ones who see your ascension. Your personal pain was never in vain. It was in the darkness of those struggles that your actual might was formed. Your success will now benefit more than just you. It will be a public declaration of God's faithfulness, a living witness to the power of endurance, and a dazzling example of what occurs when you choose to trust God. Even at the most difficult times, when you stand before the meal that God has prepared for you, remember that every shout, every sleepless night, and every moment of uncertainty you endured led up to this moment. The world will witness not only your success, but also the power that sprang from the secret fights and the resilience that bloomed in the darkest areas of your path. Your public recompense reflects not just your achievement, but also the God who has never abandoned you, strengthened you, and is now putting you into a season of public elevation. Your moment has arrived. The table is set, and you are about to be celebrated in front of folks who have never comprehended the magnitude of your battle. Now is the time for the world to see how your private pain has resulted in a public elevation, one that will demonstrate the power of faith, endurance, and divine timing. Chapter 4. Recognizing the 1%, anointing. Only 1% of people possess a spiritual blueprint powerful enough to alter generations and change fates. Of that 1%, you've chosen one. This is not arrogance. It's identifying the anointing on you, a unique heavenly mark that distinguishes you from a young age. You probably felt too much for the settings you were placed in. Your spirit was never intended to fit into little spaces since it was created for grandeur. Small chat drains you. Shallow talk's boring you. You want depth, meaning, and genuine connection. That yearning inside you is not irrational. It was planted by divine order. It differentiates you. It now qualifies you. You were never meant to blend into the background. You were designed to stand out, to lead, and to illuminate the path for others. The need for more was always a prelude to your higher calling. You may have felt misunderstood throughout your life. Your ambitions were too grand, your dreams too audacious for many people to comprehend. But that is merely evidence of the magnitude of what is within you. You were never designed to fit in little modes. Labels cannot contain your destiny. Your soul is vast, limitless, and carries a command from God. You're not here to live an ordinary existence. You are here to change the environment, while others are satisfied to follow. You have been called to lead. The road of the 1% is frequently lonely, but holy. You're being honed in ways that others will never notice. Each challenge helps you develop the character you'll need for the job ahead. Resistance is not punishment. It is preparedness. You will be tested. You'll be stretched. And yet, you're prepared for any task. Your spiritual DNA contains power, resilience, and divine insight. Your soul's need for greater significance, for a higher purpose, has always served as a compass, guiding you to your destiny. Trust it. Follow it. It is the whisper of God within you that directs your steps. Your anointing is not for fame or adulation. It's about the impact. This is about legacy, about transforming people's lives. Even if it is one soul at a time, you were picked to break cycles, lay new foundations, and create new beginnings. Remember that every step is arranged as you go through the valleys. Nothing is wasted. Every challenge, every tear, and every delay has been weaved into your destiny. You carry a fire that cannot be put out, even when skepticism speaks. Even when fear comes in, the light within you shines brightly. You were meant for this. You were ready for this. Those who cannot perceive your worth are not chosen for your destiny. Do not seek affirmation from people who lack vision. Your anointing is obvious to anyone with spiritual sight. You've come to awaken the sleeping spirits. You're here to change atmospheres wherever you go. As you embrace this reality, you become a living testament of divine favor and endurance. The earth will be compelled to acknowledge what heaven already knows. You were selected, anointed, and commissioned just for this time. Chapter 5. Divine Acceleration, Chosen One. Hurry, because divine acceleration is in action. The season for which you have waited and prayed is no longer on the horizon. It is here. What others took years to do, you will complete in months, if not weeks. The heavens and winds are propelling you ahead at a pace you've never felt before. Doors that were earlier sealed shut and appear to be strengthened with iron will suddenly spring open without being pressed. Relationships that used to sap your energy and distract you from your mission may start to fade away overnight. Some separations will be painful, but remember that they are clearing the way for divine connections that will uplift you. You will not have to pursue what is meant for you. It will arrive divinely and without difficulty. Opportunities that appeared to be beyond your ability will suddenly materialize effortlessly in front of you. What you believed was lost will be restored. What you believed was postponed would be delivered. Press down, shake, and run over. But you must be prepared. Now is not the time to second-guess your preparedness. This is not the time to sit idle and wait for a sign. You are the sign. Heaven has granted you permission to enter new terrain. No more delays. No more hiding behind fear. Stop talking yourself out of the benefits you asked for. Self-doubt has no place in the next season. Overthinking must yield to obeying. This is the hour when faith takes the lead and fear is hushed. Move forward even if it feels overwhelming at times. There will be voices attempting to create doubt. Be steadfast in the promise. Each move you take is fortunate, even when you can't see the entire picture. Remember that faithfulness today creates overflow later. Heaven has already given you approval. The divine court ruled in your favor. Angels have been sent on assignment to clear the way for you. You're no longer striving. You're flowing. You're no longer pleading. You're commanding. You're no longer surviving. You're prospering. This acceleration will cause discomfort at times. You will be stretched. It will require a greater level of confidence. But don't be afraid of the pace. You're designed for this. You were groomed in secret for this very time. The fights you waged in the dark were never pointless. They created the warrior who is now ready to emerge. Every scar you have is a medal of honor in the spiritual realm. Every prayer you murmured through tears has been recorded in heaven's vault. Nothing you experienced was in vain. It's all been counted. Now it will be rewarded. God isn't simply giving you opportunity. He is developing you into the sort of person capable of prudent stewardship. You will not miss what is coming. You will not waste the good fortune that has been bestowed upon you. Your hands have been cleaned. Your heart has been cleaned. And your soul has been strengthened. This is why you needed to wait. This explains why the delays were necessary. These are not rejections. These were preparations. Now the wait is over. Requirements for acceleration. Action. Boldness is required when accelerating. Courageous people are rewarded by acceleration. Move onward, even if your knees shake. Speak, even if your voice is shaky. Leap, even if you're unsure. Heaven is supporting you. The same God who started a good work in you is faithful to finish it. You are entering days that you previously only imagined. Your forefathers prayed for the vows you're about to make. The change has arrived. The momentum is clear. It is now. Get ready. The chosen one. Because divine acceleration does not slow down for fear, uncertainty, or hesitation. It will take you higher, faster, and further than you ever thought. This is your moment. Move appropriately. Chapter 6. The weight of responsibility. Being selected is more than simply a blessing. It is a responsibility. It is a holy trust, a heavenly task that should not be handled lightly. You are not chosen solely to get a favor. You were assigned to carry out a task larger than yourself. You are not required to conform. You have been asked to evolve. You're not here to blend into the background. You are here to change atmospheres wherever you go. Every room you enter is intended to be unique because you are present. Every discussion you have is intended to cultivate the seeds of truth and awareness. Your obedience has consequences for the lives of others. There are individuals you haven't met yet who rely on your answer to your calling. Your heroism will set captives free. Your tenacity will provide hope to the brokenhearted. Your narrative will heal, inspire, and awaken those who are still lost in the darkness. Even your scars will be louder than your words. Your struggles were not only about you. They were about everyone allocated to your voice, presence, and light. Your breakthrough will serve as the template. Someone else needs to discover a way out. Your light will reveal falsehoods. Your honesty will make compromise uncomfortable. Your honesty will expose deceit. Your genuineness will cut through the confusion that many people are experiencing. When you walk, be truthful. You don't even need to yell. Your very presence challenges the environment. You are the bearer of divine upheaval, called to destroy lies and sow seeds of revelation. You can no longer play small because others are waiting for you to succeed. Comfort is no longer a secure place. Calling it convenience no longer serves as your guide. Conviction is. You were never meant to fit into shallow molds made by fear. You have been sculpted by fear, tested by storms, and tuned for impact. Every adversity you faced prepared you for the stage you are now walking onto. You are living proof that faith, persistence, and divine favor are genuine. When others see you, they will witness a living proof that God still does miracles. Your actions will speak louder than any preaching. Your transfer move will provide incontrovertible proof that surrender produces magical effects. You are living proof that destiny can withstand delay, treachery, and even the depths of sorrow. The weight you feel on your soul at times is not a kind of punishment. It is the mantle of leadership, the expense of maintaining influence. It is a reminder that excellence necessitates accountability. It is heaven's way of entrusting you with something holy. You are not picked only for applause. You are picked for duty, stewardship, and legacy. There will be days when you want to stop. There will be times when the weight seems unreasonable. However, keep in mind that the work is more important than your feelings. You are not chosen solely on convenience. You were picked because you could be trusted to rise when it is easier to form, to love when it is easier to hate, and to lead when it becomes easy to follow. You are set apart, not set aside. You are prepared for impact, not for ease. There's a reason why you refused to quit up while others did. There's a reason you continued believing. When reasoning urged you to give up, your tenacity proved that your spirit knew. Even when your intellect questioned that fate was unchangeable. The burden you bear will be balanced by the splendor you exhibit. The higher the weight, the greater the breakthrough, and the greater the challenge. The bigger the witness, the larger the fire, and the greater the anointing. God wastes nothing.